All right, welcome back everyone to another segment of Come Fly With Us, inside information about insurance. I'm back again with Marcus Becerra. Marcus, we've got another question that has come up, and it's come up a couple different times for me, specifically when I'm quoting some of my clients, and it relates to PPC code, rating because of the fire department being how many miles away. So let's explain that, what it means, and how it affects the rate on these home policies.
You get a lot of customers like they text me like, hey, I just want to make sure that you know I have a fire hydrant right in front of my house, and that really does play an effect as far as rating, things like that. PPC code it goes 1 through 10 in the state of Texas. Burleson, where we're at right now, is a PPC code of 1. I think it used to be a 3 when I first started selling insurance 12 years ago, but now with the amount of population that it's got, the amount of fire stations that it has, I guess they've got a really good system as far as if there was a fire, all that's implemented. So most of these big cities in town, Frisco, Fort Worth, Plano, those kind of cities, their PPC code is going to be a 1.
Right.
And that just kind of shows most of the time there's a fire hydrant within 1,000 foot of most houses, and then that there's a really, really good responding fire department. Now you start moving into your rural communities like where I live in Grandview, there's darn sure not a fire hydrant within 1,000 foot, and then I believe I'm definitely over 5 miles from any kind of fire department. So my rates there in Grandview, it's a PPC of 10.
Okay.
My rates there are going to be a little bit more expensive because the likelihood of them getting there before my house burns all the way to the ground is a little less likely than one that they would catch in town.
Sure.
And then you get some towns that are kind of in the middle, towns that are growing a little bit, that are starting to get some fire stations built. You start getting them in the 4 and 5 range. So it goes from 1 to 10. 1's obviously the cheapest as far as less expensive on the insurance rate, and then 10 being the most expensive. That means you're out in the country and you're out there a little bit.
So yeah, it makes a difference where you choose to live. Again, we talked earlier in another segment, there's a little give and take. So if you want to be way out there in the country, away from everybody, you don't like to be around people, you're probably not going to be around a fire station.
Yeah.
So there are some carriers that won't even accept policies that are greater than 9 or 10.
Correct. Yeah, we've got a certain number of carriers that the max PPC they'll go is probably a 7. And that's fine. But we've also got other carriers that they kind of like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what the address is, and it doesn't mean it's not going to change. If the area's growing and they're building and they're putting fire hydrants in and things like that, you might be a PPC code of 7, but in a year or two you might be a 3. So it's always good to evaluate that thing. And then, we can tell from the address. We've got a couple systems. We plug in the address and it gives us that PPC.
Well, another thing too that plays into that factor of determination is it a volunteer fire department or is it a career fire department?
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of times, if it's a rural or volunteer, it's going to take them maybe a little bit longer to get to where they need to get. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that go into play. If you have any questions about that or anything else on your policy, please feel free to reach out. My number is 469-585-6012 or jim.ensinia@goosehead.com. If I don't know the answer, I've got Cody and Marcus here. They've been in business forever in insurance, it seems like, right?
Not that long.
Yeah. Been a while. But we got Chris, though. Chris has been in forever.
Yeah, he's been in there longer than I've been alive, so we're good.
Anyway, so hey, share this video with your friends and family and go to elliscountyvideos.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell that way you know when we've got a new video coming out. Check out the insurance section for all the other questions we've had come across our desk, and we'll see you on the next segment. Thanks a lot.